Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Where are my friends? So, Gabriel, where are you? Fusi, where are you? Where are you people? Ogechi, good evening. One hot ever for you. You came early to class. Where are the other people? Good evening, Andrew. I'm very well, Ogechi. Although I'm tired, but you know, seeing you guys is enough energy. Where are the other people now? Gabriel, Fusi, Fumilayo, uh, ZDB. Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Oh, good evening, Shino. Good evening, Victor. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. While we wait for others to join, can you just look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, welcome to class? Look at your neighbor and welcome your neighbor to class. So, disclaimer, I'm not sure if I came with all my powers today, but of course, the Indaboski is, I'm with Indaboski. I didn't come with the Gandusa. Uh, but let's see how it goes. Olalekan, welcome. Good evening, Angela. But let's see how it goes, The Indaboski should be enough to, simplify what we're going to discuss today. Don't mind me. I had a really long day. How about you people? Hope you guys had fun. Hope your day was not stressful. And are we prepared for today? So in the comment section, just tell me how prepared are you? From a scale of 1 to 100, how prepared and how prepared are you? How much have you looked forward to this class? Good evening, Tessie. Good evening, Tessie. How's your day? How prepared are you for today's class? Hmm. Tumilola is 100% ready. Great. All right. All right. All right. I can feel the power is coming now. The powers are coming. All right. Shino is 100%. Okay, then. Joshua, welcome. Welcome. Since you people are bringing 100 to the class, that means, I have to shake off, and look for my Gandusa to add it to the powers so that today's class can be fire. All right, Victor is 100% ready. All right, 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 all right. Good evening, Augustine. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Great. This is well prepared. Very well prepared. All right then. All right then. That's good to know. Okay. All right. So today's topic is going to be interesting. Now, disclaimer. It will look like one English and grammar, but then trust me, I have just one job is to help you simplify this EBA to make it as soft as possible. You understand? It's seeming like the academic part of the whole product thing. But I don't tell you, see all of these things that looks like theory as just scope that you use while you're on the job. So don't worry. I'm going to share the slide. I'm going to show us, run us through the slide, but then, like I always say, pay attention to me. Pay attention to me. I'll try to break this down into soft morsel of eba, into a fluffy eba that is easy to digest. Good evening, Bolatito. Welcome. Ezedebe, I've asked of you. Good evening. Welcome. Welcome. Good evening, Rhoda. Good evening, Rhoda. Welcome. So, we will soon get into this. Good evening, Mr. Slim. Good evening, Bukola. Okay. Good evening. 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 Good evening, Uyema. Good evening, Asholu Oluwafermi. Good evening, Afolashade. Good evening. Welcome, welcome. Why are you guys not joining like 6 minutes after 7? But welcome. Good evening, Matthew. Good evening, Jimmy. Good evening, Eric. Welcome to class. Welcome to class. Give your neighbor a warm hug, telling them they are welcome to class. Hug them, hug them, hug them. See me, I'm hugging all of you already. Shalom, shalom. The message. Welcome. All right, before we go into today's class, quickly, let's just. Oh, you couldn't find the link. Oh, apologies. Apologies. Before we go into today's class, let's just quickly in the chat tell me what you have learned so far and how has the class been so far. I want to see quickly, 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 quickly what you have learned so far and what have you learned so far? What have you learned so far? Quickly, quickly, and how has the class been? Let me see if my powers are working or I need to double up on my power. All right. All right. Thank you. Road mapping and prioritization framework. Good evening, Obafemi. All right. Let me see. Let me see. What have you learned? What have you learned? What have you learned? And how has the class been so far? How has the class been so far? I need that feedback. How has it been so far? How has it been so far? Roadmap, PRD. All right. All right. All right. All right. I'm waiting for like 10 more, 10 more, 10 more responses. Class has been very engaging. All right. What have you learned? What have you learned? What have you learned? Let's see if the powers are working. All right. The importance of prioritization and various framework. Thank you, Fermi. Thank you. All right. 8 more responses and we should. 8 more responses and we should. Product management requirement, product requirement document, PRD. Oh, Tim Topper, you can go over the video. I believe that you should be able to access that. Go over it. I believe that you will get a response. You will get clarity. And of course, you can always ask questions, right? And definitely, you will still get to have a one-on-one sections with myself and my other colleagues. That if you take this seriously and you scale to that phase, yeah, then we'll be able to help you. All right, the journey has been good so far. Oh, great, 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 great. Mm. You don't build an app in one day, prioritize when necessary. Thank you, Lillian. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, 5 more comments and we should. All right. The types of prioritization. Thank you. Rice and Moscow. Thank you. Okay, great. Core components of PRD. Thank you. Product management itself, the responsibility of product manager, difference between product and all right. Rice, rich impact, confidence, and effort. Thank you. Aha, it's like the powers are working. Victor, so the only thing you learned is about Victor, Victor, Victor. I will report you. The only thing you learned is about. All right, all right. Moscow must have, should have, could have, and won't have. All right, thank you, Izedebe, Rhoda. Roadmap shows direction, prioritizes. Thank you. Think about prioritization, importance of road mapping. All right. Oh, you've also been liking about more than normal. It's good. It's good. The powers are working. It's part of the influences of the power. Types of roadmap. Thank you, Rhoda. The three C's. Okay. Similarly, yeah, thank you. Three C's customers competition. Well, have you been in our last two class with myself? Similarly, the rice, the Moscow. Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Dr. All right. So today we're going to be looking at one topic, and that is the Agile and the Waterfall methodology. All right. The Agile and the Waterfall methodology. Now, you see that English, hold it in one hand. Do you understand? Hold that English in one hand, that Agile and Waterfall, hold it in one hand. You understand? So, don't let this ambiguous English, don't let it get to you. These two things you are seeing, is simple. It's just telling you about the methodologies in product development, right? The methodologies in product development. The two different methodology, the agile and the waterfall. Now take a minute and sip that in. So I've told you all this English word, agile and waterfall. I've told you all of this big English, now scope. You understand? Now, scope, don't let it get to you. So hold it in one hand. When you hear agile, when you hear waterfall, these are methodologies in product development. Are we clear? Are you with me? Please, I want you to follow me closely. If you are with me, tell me I'm with you. If you are with me, just tell me I am with you. I am with you before I go further. Before I go further. If you are with me, tell me I am with you. All right. All right, great, great, great. All right, then I can go further. So I have told you all this in your hands. Now, pay attention to me, please. Pay attention to me, please. It's very, very important so that we don't get lost along the line when we are trying to break this English. Now, think of it this way. When you are developing a product, right? Teams work together to turn idea into a real product. Remember, I told you that your job as a product manager, for one, is turning an idea into an actual product. I gave you an example of my EBA app, how I thought about the fact that some people need to get EBA across to them. Some people need to see the goodness of EBA, but then they cannot access EBA. So I thought about the idea of, how about I look for a way for them to be able to easily access EBA. Now, that was an idea, right? I now turned the same idea into an EBA app. Now, in order to achieve this, right, there are ways we work together as a team to achieve this. Now, these ways are these methodologies that we want to discuss today, right? So, there are two of these methodologies that we could, explore to turning my EBA idea into EBA app. And that's the Agile methodology and the Waterfall methodology. Do we get that? Do we get that? All right. All right, let me give you another example. I'm trying to, lay certain foundations before we start to dig deeper. So, think of you trying to build a house, right? Think of you trying to build a house, right? You want to think about it. Do you want to plan everything up front? Like you want to plan the way you're going to go about your house. You want to mix all the sound. You have the architecture, the project charter and all of that. You just want to build it, boom, right? Or you want to build it small. Today you do the foundation. Tomorrow you raise it to the lintel. Then because you raise the lintel, maybe you don't like the style of house you are building. You can change it and readjust it. Or do you want to just build it once? Vim, let it just grow like tree from the ground, right? These are the two descriptions for this methodology. Now I'm going to break it down further so that you understand. Hope you have not lost me. I have a feeling that someone has lost me. Hope you have not lost me. Hope you have not lost me. Are you still with me? Are you still? If you are with me, tell me I am still with you, please. I'm trying to be careful because English is too much in this thing, and I'm trying to help us break it down so that the English does not cause problem. Are you still with me, please? I need to see it in the comment section. Please pay attention to me as we try to simplify this. Are you still with me? All right. Thank you, Diamond. Thank you, Fidelis. Thank you, Victor. All right. So think of this thing I told you to hold in your right hand, the Agile and the Waterfall, the two big English. Think of it as a method that we apply in building products. Felix, please look for the map and find us where we are. All right. Thank you, Taye. No, Agile and Waterfall are not the same. Please pay attention to me, please. Please. I don't want the ambiguity of this English to convince us, please. They are not the same. These are two different methodologies, right? I have an idea to build my EBA app, to turn this idea into an EBA app, right? So, there are two methods that I can use. Is either I use the Agile method to build my EBA app, or I use the Waterfall method to build my EBA app. Do you understand? Please leave the slide for now and focus on me. The slide is just English. Please I'm trying to make sure that we get this concept. What is more important to me is you understanding having a grasp of this whole concept. In fact, if you understand this concept, you can go ahead and prepare your own slides, right? You can get to teach it your own way. So my goal is that you understand all I am trying to explain. So please pay attention. Pay attention. If it was like the old PRD, we are creating a real-time document, it would have been good. This one is a methodology. It's looking more like an academia, whatever. But I've told you, all of these big English are just simple scope that we use on our day-to-day job. You understand? So as I was saying, I'm saying that I'm trying to build an EBA app. Yes. And me trying to build an EBA app, there are two methods that I will work with my team. There are two methods that we can achieve. There are two methods that we can achieve this, right? One is either we go through the Agile methodology, right? Or we go to the waterfall methodology. Do you get it now? Either we go to the Agile methodology or we go through the waterfall methodology in building the EBA app. All right. So these are the questions you have. Now I'll try to break it down and try to differentiate these two methodology. Now, do you want to plan everything up front? Right? Maybe you want to plan everything up front and just go into execution. Now that explains for waterfall. Now hold it in one hand again. Don't let it confuse you. Now, if you want to build everything up front, right, you can classify that as waterfall methodology. Do you get that? Now, or if you want to build in small parts and adjust as you go, now you can classify that as agile methodology. Hold that one too in another hand. Now we're going to go into these methodologies one after the other. All right. Now let's start with the waterfall model. So, please, are you still getting me? All right. The waterfall method, just think of you trying to bake a cake and you cannot taste that cake till the end of you baking the cake. Do you get? Think of you baking a cake, right? Maybe you get your flours, you get your flavors and all of those stuff. But then you cannot taste it to see how it tastes. You have 2 spoons of flour, 2 spoons of flavor, 2 spoons of nutmeg, 1 crate of egg. You have it all planned out, and you are just going into baking your cake, but you can't taste it. Now think of waterfall that way. You have everything planned out, and you just rush into it, and you're just doing it all front. There is no room for flexibility. You know, you plan and you just build. There is no flexibility. That is waterfall. Do you get? Are we catching it? Are we catching it? Or if you are catching it, say I'm catching it. So you just plan everything. You plan the requirement, you design it, you build it, you test it, and you launch it. There's no room for, I do not like this design. Let's change it. The customers they have built it, but I feel like it's better. Let's reiterate. There's no room for that in waterfall. Waterfall is you plan everything, you design it, you build it, you test it, and you launch it. Think of baking a cake. Forget all those things. Just think that you are trying to bake a cake and you cannot taste the cake until the end. When you think of that, think of waterfall. Think of baking a cake and you cannot taste the cake till the end. Let it ring a bell. Waterfall is I am trying to bake a cake and I cannot taste the cake till the end. You understand? So you plan everything, you design it, you build it, you test it, and boom, you're done. Do you get? Do you understand it? Do you understand it? You get it as we go. All right. So waterfall is just once we start, it's like what they say about soldier. Go no man go, one go come. You hear go, you don't hear come. Once we start, we see to finish it. There is no room for we want to adjust this, You start it and you finish it. That's waterfall. Start and finish. Once you start your engine like this, you're just going till you end it. There's no room for okay, let's adjust this thing a bit. Let's adjust this thing a bit. Waterfall is upfront. I'm baking a cake. I cannot taste it until it is done. Do you get? So load and fire down. Thank you, Shegun. Thank you. All right, that is waterfall. All right, thank you. So take a minute and sip it down. Drink water on it. I don't want you to be confused. Drink water on it. All right. I'm glad you're getting it. All right, I'm glad you're getting it. So now, this waterfall methodology it has its own pros and its cons, right? Of course, you know that if you want to go into a project like that, load and fire, that means before you load, you must have planned very well. You must have clear and structured documentation. You must have planned, because once you start, there is no room for there is a mistake somewhere. You understand? There's no room for can we readjust it. Once you start, you just they go. So one of the pros is that there will be clear structure and documentation. Do you get? There's clear structure and documentation. Just imagine that. Let's assume that Diamond is at Sambisa Forest and is to load missile, right? Now, part of the planning is that you need to put your missile, not go and put stone in place of missile. You must carefully select your missiles and put it in your launcher so that you can just, once you launch, your target is it in that sense. Now, imagine that you now put stone instead of missile inside your loader for Sambisa. You can't go there shoot you can't go there shoot stone. You know that you are dead. All right. So waterfall is like you carefully planning your missiles and loading it into your launcher. You understand? It has clear structure and documentation because you know that there is no room for mistake. Thank you. We will come into that, Jamie. Waterfall is actually not the best for startups. Actually, it's actually not the best because startups will usually reiterate. Startup, in fact, sometimes they have to pivot. You understand? So waterfall is really not the best for them. You understand? Because waterfall is start and finish. Plan, start, and finish. You understand? Plan, start, and finish. Pack your clothes, pack everything. Olaika, if you want to enter market, I'm not saying you should not use waterfall, but then you must be sure that your requirements are concise, your requirements are well structured and clear. You understand? Remember, you are baking a cake and you cannot taste it until you finish it. You cannot see if it's good or not until you have launched it. Do you understand? So you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful. You can't tell if what you have built is good enough until your customer starts to use it. That's the thing with waterfall. You can't see, you understand? So you can choose to use whatever methodology you like. But then these days, right, especially in the product development space, in software development space, everybody has now started to embrace the Agile methodology, right? That's why you see things like we have, what's it called, Scrum Masters, you have the development team, you have the, what's it called now? You have product owners. You see that they start to do things like sprint planning. They start to do things like, what's it called now? Stand-up calls. They start to do things like retrospective calls. Yes, that's because people are starting to embrace the Agile methodology. But then you can choose to use any methodology that you like. The end goal is that your EBA app must be built. The EBA idea must be turned into a real product. Do you get? So the pros of the waterfall methodology is that it has clear structure and documentation. Obviously, for something to go that way, the documentation must be clear. And it is easy to manage. That's the honest truth. It is easy to manage. Once you have done your documentation all at once, you know that nothing is changing. You are just going. You are going with the flow, right? You are going with the flow. So it is always good for project that has fixed requirement no dey change. It's the same thing, so it's good for that. Now the cons, and that's why I was making emphasis on it not being good for startup, right? Most of the time it is not flexible. You cannot change once the process is going like this, you can't change it. So another thing that might be dangerous for waterfall method is you might not quickly discover that there's an issue until you are done with the project, until you are done with the product. And you know what that means. It will cost you time, it will cost you money. You understand? So So if you know that your product actually may evolve, waterfall is not the best is not the best method for you. Thank you, Lillian. You understand? You already know the amount of water to use, the amount of, if you're a bricklayer and you know the amount of blocks to build whatever, nothing is changing. It's not like the weather has changed, the block has changed, still the same blocks, still the same water, still the same sound. Still, now you can use waterfall. I'm just using that examples for you to understand what it means. You can use waterfall, just go into it. Nothing is changing. We know the number, the amount of granite we must split with cement and all of that stuff. So nothing is changing. You can just shoot and go. Waterfall is good. But if you know that things will change, waterfall is not good. Do you understand? So if you understand waterfall now, type I understand waterfall. I understand waterfall. Let me see it in the comment section. Let me see it. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. So you can't change your plan. It's hard to change your plan with waterfall methodology. In fact, you have delayed feedback. You might not know until the end. And of course, you are also at risk of building the wrong thing. Honestly, you're at risk of building the wrong thing. All right. So let me ask a question. Have you ever been in a group? Because I remember back then in school, right, where they group us, yeah, we have groups. They put us in different groups. Now, have you been in a situation whereby you have all of the things that you are supposed to do, you have it done, but then there's a problem of having it together. Have you been in that situation before? Now you have done all the parts, but the problem is bringing it together. You know that cube game, I don't know what you call it. You are trying to make sure yellow, red, all aligns together. Now you have done all the parts. You have yellow, you have purple, you have, but then having to bring all of them together. Have you have you ever experienced it, or am I the one who is always in team of people that are in school too? Because we used to be school two students. All right, all right, all right, good. Okay, so let's go into the second model, right? We'll still go deeper and try to differentiate, right? We'll still go a bit deeper, right? And try to differentiate. I'm trying to make these things, easy. Thank you, Mercy. I'm trying to simplify this Oyibo. Just forget about the English. Behind the English is a very simple concept, right? And I hope I'm able to do justice to all of this concept so that you have an idea of what this concept says. Don't pay attention. No, it's good to pay attention on the slide, but then try to get all I'm trying to explain. That's what is important. This slide, you can sit down, having learned all you have learned, you can now sit down and draft your own slide. In fact, you can even draft a more beautiful slide than this one, right? So please pay attention. I don't mind going over it again and again just to make sure that we understand, just to make sure that we are clear. All right, let's go into the second model, the second methodology. That's the Agile methodology. All right, the Agile methodology. And all right, the Agile methodology is what a lot of organizations now use, right? A lot. Yeah, a lot of organizations. I mean, I believe that in the last what's it called now? In the last 4 or 5 years, right? I've always been in teams where they embrace this Agile methodology. You understand? And the truth is, over the years, we've seen that requirements change over time. While you're building requirement change, there are always needs for iteration. There are always needs for iteration while you're building. So that, I feel like that's why a lot of organizations has embraced this agile methodology. Now, although this agile methodology, I don't want to confuse you, but let me just mention it. If I mention it, hold it in one hand. If we have time, I'm still going to explain it in detail. Agile methodology has its own framework, has two framework. It has the Scrum and the Kanban. Scrum is spelled as SCRUM, and you can read up on that. We also have the Kanban, that's the KNBAN. Now, take that one, put it inside your back pocket. I just mentioned this so that I won't forget. I'm not sure if it's on this slide. It has two framework, the Kanban and the Scrum. Now, let me try to do a bit of justice to that. Let me try to explain that more. But I don't want it to cover up the whole flow. But then, everything I'm going to say now, when I'm done saying it, pack it, put it in your back pocket. After we are done, you can now go to your back pocket, pull it out, and look at it again and chop it. You understand? So we have in the Agile framework, we have Kanban and we have the Scrum. Right? In the Scrum, things are broken down in sprints. And what do I mean? I've told you that sprint is, in our last slide, I told you that sprint is a timeline, an estimated timeline for certain deliverables, for certain, for example, now you want to build, you have a list of features. Let's say you want to build a user registration screen. Now, in Scrum methodology, right, you write that feature, you break it down into stories, and each of these stories now, you now say that, okay, for this one, for login, it will take us 2 weeks, because most of the time, sprint is broken down into 2 weeks, right? It will take us 2 weeks to build this screen. That is Scrum. You understand? Scrum methodology breaks down work into bits, right? And they are timed. You understand? They are broken into sprints. You understand? Login screen will take 2 weeks. So you know that the development team has to build a login screen in 2 weeks. That is Scrum. You understand? Now, Kanban on the other side, it does not necessarily have timeline like Scrum. Kanban on its own is just to do. You understand? You have a list of backlog, and you now have the to do, maybe in progress, completed. Works are splitted into that way. Take note, I said Scrum breaks work into sprints. Meanwhile, Kanban break work into not necessarily timeline, but maybe a list of priority. There's a list of to do, there's a list of things in progress. It's like a board setting. People can come to that board and see that, okay, these are the list of things they want to do. These are the next thing they are going to do. These are the things that are in progress. These are the things that are completed. You understand? But for Scrum, when you come, you see that, okay, sprint 1, login screen. That means that sprint 1, it means that at the end of the first 2 weeks, this is completed. Do you understand? Sprint 2, that means that when we have completed sprint 1, sprint 2 is the fourth week, the second 2 weeks. We want to do this sort of things. Do you get it? So all I have said now, pack it and put it inside your back pocket. Do you understand? Pack everything, put it inside your back pocket. Let's now go back to talk about our methodologies. Right? All right. Are you still with me, please? I know that I've said a lot of things that might have, scatter things. But are you still with me, please? If you are still with me, just type, I am still with you. I am still with you. My goal for every people I train is that at the end of any training you have with me, you can be sure that you have a grasp of product. Product is like EBA, fluffy EBA. All right, so that's why I'm taking my time to break it down so that you don't see me on the street and throw me stone. All right, thank you, Afolashade. Thank you, Shegun. Thank you, Olani. Thank you, Eniola. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Bright. Thank you, Precious. All right. Thank you, Femi. Thank you for staying with me. Okay. All right. So let me read. Let me read the English here. Now, this is our agreement. This is our agreement, right? Please, they would get across all the slides to you. Please pay attention to me. This slide is not as important as you understanding what I am saying. The scenarios I'm trying to paint in your mind are not on the slides. You understand? The scenarios are not on the slide. You would only understand the slide better when you pay attention to all of these things I am saying. So please pay attention to me. If you have understood this concept I'm trying to pass, it is easy for you to even come up with your own slide. So please pay attention to me. Thank you. Thank you. So I will read what we have in the slide, but then we have an agreement, right? That all of this grammar that you are seeing in the slide, you are holding them in one hand and you wait for me to help you simplify them. So is this simplified EBA, is the fluffy EBA that you are going to swallow. I don't want you to swallow what will choke you. All right. In my slide, I say that Agile model is an iterative and incremental approach to software development. Don't worry. Hold it in one hand. You can choose to discard it because we're going to break it down. All right. It emphasizes flexibility, right? And customer collaboration. It encourages adaptive planning and continuous improvement, right? It delivers working software frequently. All right. So, Agile methodology promotes adaptability and customer feedback. You know, it allows teams to respond swiftly to changes and deliver value. Let me look for a very perfect example to give to you. Now, you remember that I told you that when you think of waterfall, you think of cake, trying to bake a cake without tasting it until the end of the cake. You understand? Now, when you are thinking of agile, think of cooking soup. Do you understand? When you are thinking of, agile, think of what? Cooking soup. I know you are laughing. Now, when you are cooking soup, you can always taste the spice to see maybe it's enough. For example, you put salt, yeah, inside your soup. You can scoop a bit, taste it. Is the salt okay? Is the salt enough? If it's not enough, you can go ahead and put more salt. Do you understand? So, in other words, Agile is telling you that you can adapt to change. You can be flexible. You understand? You can adjust the spice. You can add more salt. You can add more water. Now, when you are cooking rice, I know some of you are experts, but me, I've never gotten it right at once. I would always have to go back to check my rice to put more water. If not, I'm going to eat a stony rice. So think of Agile as me cooking rice, as my cooking skill in rice. I didn't ask you people to abuse me. I am just giving you scenarios that would help you understand. So me, I am cooking rice. I have put water. I can go back and say, take a scoop, take some part of the rice. This rice is still hard. Then I press some more water and pour it inside so that I can have, the right texture for my rice. Do you understand? So when you think of Agile, along the line, you can adjust your spice. You understand? You can taste and adjust your spice. You can take some rice, have a bite, and know if you will need to add more water. Think of Agile again as EBA. Maybe you put your water inside the bowl and you poured too much garri. You understand? You see that the EBA is hard. It's not as fluffy as you want. You can always go back to your kettle or whatever you have your hot water and add some more water. You understand? So that you can have your fluffy eba. Do you get? Do you get? Are we getting it, please? Are we getting it? You can stop, taste, and adjust. If I did not like food, what else would I like, Lillian? All right, so you're getting it right. All right. So can you see that all these big English and all these big grammar, they are just scope. They are just scope. These methodologies are scope. I've told you all of these things that look like grammar in, in product. All of these, they are so-called concept. All of these, they are so-called principles and all. They are just scopes. You understand? I will still try to, further simplify it. Don't worry. The powers will work. That's why I come to class with my Gadusa, Indaboski, and all of these things. All of these powers. The powers are to, are to help you understand. Sorry, I can never leave about. All right. So, hope you are getting it. All right. Thank you. I'm happy you're getting it. So, Agile methodology, right? Now, let me go back to this slide. Okay. Helps you to gives enhanced flexibility and adaptability. It gives faster feedback loop. You understand? Now, for example, now let me give you a actual, example. Um, I remember there was a time we are building what's it called now? We are building hotspot, yeah, in BRT bus stations in Lagos, right? So after we have installed infrastructures and all of that stuff, the first bit is making sure that when people get to the BRT bus station, there's a captive portal pop-up. They can see a screen that shows, them advert and all of that. So that is now please pay attention. Now, the first phase is we built that and people were able to. I went to the BRT bus station then. I went to Ikorodu to be precise. Jesus Christ. Thank God we had security, but it is where I didn't say anything. So thank you, David. So they came to the screen and they tried to interact with the screen. While they tried to interact with the screen, I was just there trying to get their feedback. I saw that there are ways we can adjust the screen. You understand? You understand? There are ways we can adjust the screen. There are ways we can adjust the button. There are certain icons that people did not even know that it serves certain purposes. Now, we could easily go back and readjust the design, readjust that screen, and push. Now, take note. In We have not gone into them connecting to the internet. We have not gone into them, doing all of those stuff. All we did was they are able to log in. Once they come to the BRT bus station, they see our pop-up, the captive portal just pops up. They see that they can connect to the internet. They see all of those screens. We could easily go back and readjust. You understand? Unlike Waterfall. Waterfall is that we will build that screen, build the connecting button, build everything all at once. Even if they can't understand the icon, that's their problem. Meanwhile, it's still our problem. They can't understand that we can't get feedback. You understand? But while we're building that, we launched that first to make them to see how they interact with that screen. We're able to reiterate. It gave room for iteration. You understand? That is simple example of agile methodology. We could get their feedbacks. You understand? We could get their feedbacks. We could see that, oh, they are missing this, they are not getting the essence of this icon. Maybe we could look for a better icon to help them understand what we mean. You understand? You understand? I remember having to go and be friends with Shutterstock and some other, looking for icons that will serve the purpose. Please excuse me, let me take water, please. Give me a moment. Do you have anything of fire? Apologies, apologies. I'm back. Sorry, I had to go take water. All right, thank you, thank you. All right. So, oh, I think it's this. All right, thank you. I'm back. So, where was I? Please remind me. Where was I? Where was I? Where was I? Okay, I think I was telling you the practical example of how we applied, you know, Agile. And Agile is what we apply day to day, day to day, day to day, day to day, day to day. You know, in fact, before now, a lot of people say that banks will use Agile methodology. So, but then these days, I feel like banks have even started to embrace, Agile because CBN can come with a funny. Anyway, don't let us go into that. All right, don't let us go into that. All right, I hope you are getting it, please. All right, before we go on our break, so let me just some of the benefits of Agile. So now let me give you another description of Agile. Agile is simply about working in small chunks. That is called iteration, and you are improving as you go. You understand? Working in small chunks and you are improving as you go. You understand? Maybe you just build a chart. For example, now WhatsApp is a very good example of an app that embraced Agile, right? You can see that they 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 built their status. It had pictures. Over time, they improved on it. They added, I think you can edit picture, add text to picture. They went ahead. They added music. So that's the flexibility that comes with, building. Now, if they were to follow Waterfall, they want to build everything all at once. But Agile says that you build them working in small chunks, then you start to improve as you go. You understand? That way you can get fast feedback. You can change things. You become flexible to change. You understand? You can even learn as you build. You understand? When you build and people start to interact, you see that, oh, Fidelis, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that. There are certain products that might use waterfall. But over time, because people have seen that um, they need to iterate sometimes. They started embracing the agile methodology. And I've told you for the past 5 years now, for the past 5 years, for the past 5 years, right? Um, I've always used agile methodology in building, right? I've always used agile methodology in building, and that's why we have roles like product owners, scrum masters, and all of you. It's because of agile. If you don't have agile, you can't have scrum masters. You can't have these job roles that are coming. You understand? Do you get that? So agile allows you to adapt. You understand? It just allows you to adapt. Do you get it? So, but waterfall now, if you can predict the end from the beginning, then you can follow waterfall. If you have a fixed scope of projects, right, you can embrace waterfall. But in as much as you know that there will be room for iterations, there will be room that you might want to change one or two things, you have to embrace agile. You understand? All right. So I think we should. Example. I should give you an example, right, of software built with waterfall. I think the early version of Microsoft Windows, all those Windows 95, Windows XP, they followed waterfall approach. They gathered all their requirements upfront, plan, design, and design. I'm thinking, I'm not sure, but I think that they they um they followed that approach. And yeah, core banking softwares, actually core banking softwares, yeah, core banking softwares. They usually would follow they follow the waterfall approach. You know, core banking software is core banking software. You understand? Maybe construction project too, sha. Maybe you want to build bridge. You already know that the number of sand that you need to add to whatever. You already know. You understand? You already know your requirements. Your requirements are defined. Nothing changes it. You understand? Nothing changes it. Then you can follow the waterfall. But in these days where you build stuff, customers' feedback and all that stuff, you want to iterate. So for the last 5 years, I've really, really worked using the Agile methodology. All right. I think I've mentioned to you. All right. Yes, Olayinka, you're correct. So, um, um, we'll talk about this later. The difference between Scrum Masters and Product Owner. I think there will be a session to help you understand these roles, right? To help you understand these roles. Um, they are different persons. Product owners most of the time work directly with the development team, making sure that products are built from start, from idea to the launch. The Scrum Master on the other side are just to help you, unblock your blockers, you know, help you follow up on timelines. They are not really, 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 really working closely with, the development team to building product. Let me give that surface response to you now. All right. So, to your question, if waterfall method allows for application update, no. Don't let me answer no like that. Waterfall does not naturally support application updates during development. You understand? Waterfall is just linear, right? It's a sequential model. So once a phase is completed, it's not designed to go back and make any change easily. You understand? Oh, please help me. So, but Agile allows you to engage flexibility. So, I think I've spoken about the framework of Agile, the Scrum and the Kanban. Let me see if you still remember all I said. So, in the comment section, can you tell me what I said about the Kanban and the Scrum? In the comment section, let me see, let me see, let me see. Let me see. Oh, what did I say about Scrum and the Kanban framework of Agile? Let me see if you. Mm, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So for Scrum, teams work in sprint with a set goal. Yeah, they work in sprint. So usually sprints are 2 weeks, a 2 weeks timeline. That means that at the end of 2 weeks, they want to finish a screen. So, sorry, please. Meanwhile, Kanban, is just like you focusing on visualizing work with board. To do, doing, and done. Do you get that? All right. Let's go further. Okay, it's time for our break. So let's go on break. Let's go and sip some water and drink everything we have drank. Kanban is spelled as Kanban. I'm seeing some people spelling it the wrong way. Kanban is spelled as Kanban. 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 All right. So when we come back from break, we will look at the different ceremonies. All right. Thank you. Go and drink some more water. Go and drink some more water. We'll come back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. Look at your neighbor and say welcome. Look at your neighbor and say welcome. Are we back? 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 Tell your neighbor welcome back. All right. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. So in a moment, we'll be playing a video. So sit back, take your popcorn, relax your back as we play the video. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, hope you've grabbed your popcorn and you're ready for the video. All right, while we wait, just hug your neighbor. Tell them how much you've missed them.
Dear DSA students, we are so excited to be on this journey with you. And we want to say a big well done for your commitment and enthusiasm so far. Whether you have just joined or you have been learning with us over the past few weeks, we see your progress and we are rooting for you all the way. Now, we know there's been a bit of silence around the learning management system, and we sincerely apologize for that. But here's the good news. We have an update as regards the learning management system, and it is one you'll love. Some of you may have been onboarded on the previous LMS, but want to ask that you kindly disregard any previous link, platform, or communication concerning that old system. We are officially switching to a new platform that you may be familiar with, Canvas by Instructure. For those new to Canvas, don't worry. A video tutorial will be uploaded to guide you step by step on how to use the platform effectively on our YouTube channel. You will also receive an onboarding email directly from Canvas by Instructure to help you get started. Please follow the instructions in the email and input your details to begin your learning journey on the platform. We are committed to making sure your learning experience is smooth, interactive, and impactful. So please, pay close attention to the announcements coming right after this video for more details. We are so glad to have you with us. Keep going, we've got this.
All right. Welcome back.
Dear DSA students.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Hug your neighbors, hug your neighbor, hug your neighbors, hug your neighbors before we continue. If you don't hug your neighbor, we are not continuing. Hug your neighbor. If you don't hug your neighbor, we end the class. Hug your neighbors, tell them welcome. Tell them you are so happy to see them. Tell them you have missed them so much. Oh yeah, sharp, 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 sharp. Hug your neighbors, hug your neighbor. If you don't hug your neighbor, you are wrong. Hug your neighbors, hug your neighbors. Tell them how much you miss them. You've been gone for a whole 5 minutes. A whole 5 minutes. That was too much. That was too much. All right. So we'll be going shortly in. All right. All right. Thank you. All right. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So before we continue, all that we have said, I have said too many English today. All that I have said, can you just quickly, in a bit of moment, type on the comment section what you have learned so far? Sharp, sharp, sharp. Let's do that for the next 5 minutes. What have you learned so far? What have you learned so far? What have you learned so far? Don't worry. I'm going to give us some time this evening. Now, the time I'm going to give you is not that I should go back and, I'm not asking you to go back to business. I'm asking you to go back, take time, reflect on all that we have learned, and try to absorb as much, ruminate on it. You understand? Ruminate on it. I know that the English is somehow. Think of all the scenarios I've given to you. Think of all the pictures I've tried to build in our minds, and just brood over it, brood over it, brood over it, brood over it, brood over it. You understand? I'm going to give us maybe like 20 minutes to do that. So even if I, but then, all right, all right, all right, all right. So what did you learn? Oh, what did you learn? What did you learn? I want to see it. What did you learn? Well, thank you, Nancy. Thank you. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. More persons, more people, more persons, more people. Okay. No, no, no. Afolashade. Okay, yeah, you are correct. Agile has two frameworks, not method. Two frameworks, the Scrum and the Kanban. Agile has two frameworks, Scrum and Kanban. All right, Scrum and Kanban. All right. So thank you. So let's just read through this. I believe that I have done justice to explaining this to you. Agile is stable when requirements are expected to change, rapid delivery and customer feedback are priority. Projects are complex and require flexibility. All right. Waterfall is suitable when requirements are well understood and unlikely to change. When the project scope is fixed and a structured approach is needed. All right. When the regulatory or compliance requirement dictate a linear process. You understand? Um, all right. Or you get the slide. Okay, let's go into this. I didn't say we must use two methodologies. Oh, you can use one or either of the two. You can use either of the two, and both the two. But they are just two methodologies in product development. That is the Agile and the Kanban. Sorry, Agile and the Waterfall. You can use any of the two frameworks. Sorry, any of the two method. What am I even saying? Oh Jesus Christ! I'm not eating about that's why. You can use any of the two methodologies, either agile or waterfall, any of the two. I didn't say we must use the two. You can use any of the two to transform your product idea into real product. All right. Thank you, everyone. I'm happy you're getting it. All right, let's just move forward. So we have certain ceremonies that we do in Agile, right? We have certain ceremonies we do in Agile. These are the things that we do day to day, day to day, day to day, in our different workplaces. And these are the things you should expect when you get into, you know, work, the workplace, right? There is something called the sprint planning. You know, it just this sprint planning is usually to define goals. Don't worry, I'm going to simplify this. You should know, what's it called now? You should know what's it called? You should know by now that I'm going to simplify all this English. All the English is just for the sake of the slide, right? So sprint planning usually is to define goals and plan work for the upcoming sprint. All right, hold that one in one hand. So this is what they mean. So before we start any sprint, you understand? Before we start any sprint, for example, we have a backlog of things to do. We have the login, we have the payment gateway. For my EBA app, we have login, payment gateway. We have the payment feature, we have the order feature, we have the track order feature. You understand? Now we have these four things to do. Now, the sprint planning calls is just to define, okay, what are we doing next? What do we need to achieve this? All right. In the sprint planning call, we agreed that okay, fine. For the next sprint, we'll be working on the login screen, right? We'll be working on user registration. That's the login screen. Forget password screen. We said what's it called now? Register password screen. So that is, we will plan all of that during the sprint planning call, right? We know what to do. We have a goal for the next sprint that we want to do. We have agreed that okay, these and these are achievable in this space of 2 weeks. You understand? So the sprint planning call is just to help you understand what you want to work on in the next sprint. So when you have finished that sprint planning call, the sprint planning call is just to plan your sprint. In other words, don't worry about the grammar. It's just to plan your sprint. And I've told you what sprint means. It's just to plan the things that you want to do for the next 2 weeks. So sprint planning is usually to plan the sprint. You understand? So it's one ceremony we do usually for the remote life now. We do calls and we call the calls sprint planning calls. On that sprint planning call, all we are doing is that we are planning that for the next 2 weeks, this and this and this is what we want to achieve. Do you get? That's what we're doing. At the end of the planning, we know that okay, oh, we are doing this and this in the next 2 weeks. That's the essence of this planning call, and is what we do at the beginning of every sprint. Just know that before we go into the 2 weeks of active development, there is always a session called the sprint planning session. You understand? So that's one of the ceremonies we do in Agile, sprint planning. All right. So the second ceremony is this daily stand-up. It's the daily stand-up. Every blessed day, we do stand-ups. Although it's flexible with some organizations. You'll be surprised to see that some organization does 3 days in a week, some does 2 days in a week. But usually, stand-ups are daily stand-ups, right? You are meant to do stand-ups every day. And it's not going to take much time. Most of the time, stand-ups takes just 10 minutes. You understand? Stand-up takes 10 minutes. And all you are trying to discuss on that stand-up is you want to find is a short meeting to discuss the progress. Thank you, stand-up calls. Yeah, I know you've heard stand-up calls and all of that stuff. So the daily stand-up is just to discuss progress and obstacle. Now, this is the usual thing that we ask you on stand-up calls. Do you have any blocker? That means, do you have any obstacle? They will ask you, what are you currently working on? What do you plan to pick up? You understand? So that's really that's really what the stand-up call is. It's just a ritual to discuss maybe the progress of work and if there's any obstacle. Okay, David, how long does sprint planning call? It depends actually, it depends. So and it has varied for different organizations where I've worked. You understand? There are times where we use an hour for sprint planning calls. There are times where we use, when I was working with one UK-based organization, then we usually use our Mondays, which might not be right. Our Mondays we use the entire day. We don't use Mondays to work. We use Mondays to plan. So that's like our own sprint planning sessions where we take the entire day to just plan. You understand? But ideally, sprint planning sessions should be for like an hour. But there are cases where it exceeds that hour. You understand? So, but the cocoa is that before you end that call, everybody has clarity on what to do. Now, the essence of that call is that you don't want to start a sprint and start discovering that there's one problem somewhere, there's one obstacle somewhere. Maybe you have not set up certain infrastructure. Maybe some things are not ready. Maybe design cannot finish their screens in the space of 3 days, 2 days. Maybe you understand. You want to make sure that all those bottlenecks are taken care of during the sprint planning calls. You understand? So the time usually would vary. But ideally, sprint planning calls should not be more than an hour. All right. But sometimes it can exceed. It can go for as much as 3 hours, depending. All right. But for someone like me who is not a, anyway, don't let me go into all of that. All right. So daily stand-ups are like just 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. They're just discussing progress, discussing, the progress of work, discussing if there's any obstacle so that you can get to unblock people, remove their obstacle and get them going. right? And this is done daily, 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 daily. All right. So there's also the sprint review. So when you have finished your sprint, there's something called the sprint review. You usually would show stakeholders, demo the things that you have done, demonstrate it to them that okay, oh, this and these are what we have done. Oh. This is the login screen. Oh, we have completed this login screen. This is how it looks. You understand? So usually, um, the way we do it is, so when we have finished our sprint, maybe we have said that in the space of 2 weeks we would achieve, the user registration. So at the end of that week, we usually we do sprint review. And the sprint review is that okay, oh, we have told you that this week we will complete at the end of 2 weeks, we'll complete user registration. So at the end of 2 weeks, most of the time we get on the call and we show them, okay, this is the login screen, this is the forget password screen, this is how it looks, this is how it looks. You understand? The sprint review session is just to demonstrate that we have completed this thing, we have completed this thing. Do you understand? So there's also another thing called sprint retrospective. You understand? Sprint retrospective. Just take note of all these rituals. When you get on the job and you start to see these things, then you don't be remember, okay, now what we they do this, so I didn't even know. I'm sure that some of us, we already are doing all of these things, but then we don't know the name and terminology that is attached to it. Yeah. So for the retrospective calls, right? I don't like to add calls because some people work on site and they don't have calls. They do actual real time meetings or real time discussions, or they have the way they go about it, maybe via emails or I don't know. So the sprint retrospective is just to reflect on the sprint. Maybe at the end of the first sprint, you want to see what did we do well. You understand? What didn't we do well? What can we improve on? You understand? Maybe, for example, now as a product manager, right? I've written my documentation. We have agreed during the sprint planning call that the sorry, apologies. So maybe we said that in the space of 2 weeks, in the space of 2 days, my backend engineer will finish my endpoint, build my endpoint, and finish it. Then I discovered that towards at the start of the whole development team, my backend engineer has disappeared on me. What we were supposed to finish in 2 days, it took him 3 days to finish. Now, the retrospective call is to talk about it. Say, guy, is there a reason why he exceeded the 2 weeks? Maybe he was not communicating well. You want to have that retrospective call, tell him, yeah, this and this could be worked on. We could do better with this, maybe do better with communication, or I like the way you communicated. You understand? So the essence of retrospective calls is just to reflect on the sprint, to identify improvement, right? What can we improve on? Is it that we want to improve on our communication? Is it that we want to improve on the quality of code we wrote? You understand? So it's just for reflecting. Do you get? If you are getting it, say yeah, yeah. Just type yeah, yeah. If you are getting it, type yeah, yeah. If you are getting it, type yeah, yeah. All right, great, great, great. I'm glad you're getting it. Okay, so those are just the ceremonies. Samson, I don't understand your questions, by the way. All right. So maybe you want to rephrase or help me to understand what you're trying to ask. So those are just the ceremony in Agile. Those are just the ceremony in Agile. And in Agile, we have roles like the product owner, Scrum Master, the development team. You understand? So, I mean, the reason why we have a job, thank God for Agile, I think, anyways. So we have all of these roles. What else? All right. So um, so let me come again on the ceremonies, right? So sprint planning, like I've said, you will plan what you will do in the next 2 weeks. That's the essence of the sprint planning ceremony. You understand? Maybe in the next 2 weeks, you want to fix 3 bugs or you want to build the login page, you plan it. What do we need to make sure that we achieve that? That's the sprint planning call. I'm going over this again because I didn't understand the question. What's his name? The question Samson was trying to ask. So Samson, please pay attention to it. So we are not repeating the same thing, Samson. Please pay attention. I'm going to go over it again. Please pay attention. Pay attention. Like I have said, stand-up calls is to find out the progress of work, right? To find out if there are any obstacles while you're doing your work. Retrospective call is just to reflect. What did we do good? What can we improve on? Please pay attention. Thank you. We are not repeating the same thing. So let me come again. Sprint planning, you plan what you will do in the next 2 weeks. You understand? If you want to build the login screen, you plan it. You want to fix 3 bugs, plan it. You understand? Daily stand-up are quick updates. You understand? Quick update. It doesn't take more than 10 to 15 minutes. All you are doing on that stand-up is finding out what you did, what you will do, and if you have any blocker. What did you do yesterday? What will you be picking up today? Do you have any blocker? That is stand-up, right? That is the daily stand-up. The sprint review is you are showing what you have done. It's like a report card. You told your mommy you have written exam. You want to go and show her the result of the exam you wrote. Sprint review is you are showing them, here's the login page that we built. Oh, this is how it looked like. Oh, we've told you that we will build login screen in 2 weeks. Oh yeah, this is it. Oh, this is the login screen. Oh, we have built it. That is sprint review. While the retrospective, ceremony is to reflect on what went well and what didn't go well. You understand? Maybe on the retrospective call, you are trying to say, okay, fine. Maybe the QA did not test on time, the quality assurance engineer. So you're saying that next time I will test earlier. You understand? Next time I will deliver my endpoint, earlier. Next time I would. You understand? So it's just to reflect on what you did. Did you do well? What didn't you do well? How can we get better against the next sprint? Are you clear now, Samson? Are you clear now, Samson, please? Samson, I want to see your response. Are you clear now? Are you clear now? Are you clear now? Samson, I'm waiting for your response. Oh. All right, thank you, Mabel. I'm glad you're getting it. Okay, Abosede, do you do your sprint review during daily stand-up? No. Sprint review are usually done on their own. They are a different ceremony on their own. Daily stand-up is a quick meeting. Quick. Like you just want to know, do you have any blocker? So that at the end of the sprint, that I don't. Okay, thank you, Samson. I'm glad you're very clear now. All right. So, the Agile role, we have the product owner, we have the Scrum Master, we have the development team. You are like the class captain, already. Prioritize features, Scrum Master is just to keep the team unblocked and focused, so that they can meet the goal of the project. Development team, they write the code, they build the product. You have the engineers, right, as the development team. You have the designers at the development team. You have what else? The quality assurance engineer as the development team. Okay, all right. So I think we will soon call it a day because I believe that today's about is too much for us to swallow. So I want us to take some time to try to digest it, drink enough water, you understand, so that we can digest it. All right. So let us I want to be sure that I did not forget anything. Okay. So let me see if I can paint certain scenarios. Okay, let me see if I can paint certain scenarios for these methodologies. Um, 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 um. Okay, yeah, I think something has come to my mind. I can paint it now. Okay, so for government projects with strict rules, they have their fixed plan. Maybe there is something around compliance that must not change. You understand? Compliance remains the same. You know, and they are strict on compliance. You can't change the plan. The project has strict rules. You cannot taste the cake. You bake the cake. That is waterfall. Yeah, because the plan is fixed. Now, maybe for startup building a new app, the best method for them will be agile. You know why? Because they need flexibility and they need quick feedback. They don't want to wait till the end of the project before they get a feedback. They don't want to wait till they have the whole project to get feedback. That's disaster. So they need flexibility, they need fast feedback. So agile is their best bet, I can tell you. You understand? So what else? What else? So maybe you are creating a new game, you are building game, right? For gamers like us. Am I a gamer? I'm not sure. You are building new game. You need to test. You need to improve based on their feedback. Then agile is the best approach because as you build down, you want people to play on. And once they are playing, they can give you feedback, and you can improve on it. So agile is the best approach. All right. What else? Okay. So let's do a quick quiz. Let me see if you have got what we have learned today. Let's do a quick quiz. Let's do a quick quiz. Thank you, Essie. Thank you. All right, let's do a quick quiz, and after this quiz, we can call it a day, right? Let's do a quick quiz. Let me see. The first question would be, which model allows for change midway? Which methodology allows for change midway? Maybe you have started working, and along the line you can change. Which of the model allows for it? Which of the model allows for it? Let me see your response. All right. All right. Clap for yourself, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, great. Thank you. All right. Thank you. I'm happy you guys are getting it. Yeah, Agile, you're correct. Let me ask you the next question. Which of the agile meetings, right, allows you to reflect and improve? Which of the agile meetings allows you to reflect and improve? Which of these ceremonies allow you to reflect and improve? Remember, I said that in the ceremonies we have sprint planning, we have the retrospective, we have stand-ups. So, which of these meetings allow you to reflect and improve? New. Thank you. The sprint retrospective. The sprint retrospective. Thank you. Thank you. Let me ask another one. Who helps to remove blockers in Agile? Who helps to remove blocker in Agile? Please, so it is not. Thank you. Sprint retrospective. All right. Remember, I told you that the retrospective calls are the calls to see what you did well, what you did not do well, what you can improve on. You understand? Thank you. The Scrum Masters help to remove blockers. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Now I'm glad I can see that we learned a lot today. So let me leave us alone, right? To go and use the next 20 minutes because I know that we have had a lot today. And the EBA one day somehow. Really, for me, I mean, I'm just mostly concerned about actual software, right? As a product manager, right? But then this method you can choose to apply them to your physical product. So thank you. Let me leave you to go and swallow because we have said a lot today. So I want you to have some space to breathe. While me, I go and look for my EBA and eat my EBA. So go back, reflect on all that we have learned today, think about it, brood over it. I know I've bombarded us with too many English. All right. So thank you guys so much. See you when we see again. And I love you guys, but not as much as I love my wife. Take care of yourself and enjoy the rest of the day. This one where David is the call.